Fox News. Come on, bro. I don't like. I'm just not noticing that DC Young Fly was the one that posted this.
This nigga always posting some shit, ain't he?
Yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. That nigga, who's that other? Carlos Miller and I think maybe
Chico Bean?
Yeah. yeah. The 85 South Show. Them nigga, they did a good ass idea with that.
The what?
The 85 South Show.
What is that?
It's basically like their niche of like comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
that's when they're all on stage and they're just kind of fucking around and shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what it's called. Okay.
Shit, they need to have that at Skigi for this year's homecoming. Oh God.
They'll probably find a way to ruin it. Not them. I'm talking about Skigi.
No, I mean we had Desi before COVID.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Desi Banks?
No.
Really?
No.
Damn, bro.
You know I don't give a shit about people, man.
You don't know Desi Banks? You don't know Parlay? Man.
Nope.
That's why our school is our mascot is named Parlay now. Well, kinda because of Desi. But yeah. But anyways, so apparently Fox News host blames marijuana for mass shootings.
Now, okay, let's just jump into it. Let's just jump into it.
We're pushing for answers and accountability. These are the eyes of some of the mass killers who've reportedly been regular pot users. Look at them. Those in politics and in the media who devote their time.
All of them look like fucking decrepit hobos. Look at them. It's like, I don't want to.
Like in your eyes, like don't look like from weed.
It look like they've been taking that. It look like they've been taking meth.
Oh God!
Or at least the two on the bottom.
Yeah.
The two on the bottom look like they're taking meth. The two at the top just like incels.
Yeah.
I mean, they all look like incels in their own right, especially the guy at the bottom right. But
no, the one at the bottom right just looks weird. He just look weird.
He looks like someone who would like attack you on the street with a banana.
No, bro. I'll slap the shit out of him. Oh my God.
He looked like that kid who had like ADHD in high school and would just like be bouncing off the walls and everyone hated. So it's like, this is like,
and
I'm
you can't
getting
even
my
do
revenge.
you can't even do nothing about it because he's in that certain group. So
Yeah.
it's like, and y'all don't get mad at me.
I can't hit him because then I'm in the wrong.
Yeah. And y'all can't get mad at me for saying that because I got ADHD too. So now what? All right.
Those in politics and in the media who devote their time and energy to fear-mongering on fake issues while covering up the truth about the growing scourge of violent psychosis in our young people, they have to be called out, they have to be defeated, and then the public has to be educated. And parents, this means you need to get into the game. This means you understanding that this can happen to you, to your family, no matter how wealthy you are, how well-adjusted you are, how mature and together your children seem. It's time to call out the phonies and call in the warriors for common sense. And that's the angle.
This is like, and see, the thing was like, I was kind of starting to like Fox News a little bit more because I was actually able to, with me becoming more conservative in my ideals and just in my life, I kind of see myself aligned with some of the things they say. But this is just this old fucking 1920s hard conservative fear-mongering rhetoric that they used to use about marijuana like back in the days. Like, it's been shown that marijuana does not cause psychosis, like generally. Like, if you take a huge amount, you can freak out, you can be paranoid, but it's like marijuana isn't the cause for mass. Everyone knows this at this point. Like, anyone who's paying attention knows that's not the cause of mass unalivings, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is where I have a problem with Fox News when it comes to this type of stuff, because they'll purport this narrative, this very, very old, outdated narrative. Like, at times, it's so funny that, like, a lot of the conservatives will come out the woodworks with facts, data, and statistics and be quoting Ben Shapiro. Oh, facts don't care about your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings, right? But it's like, where are your facts when it comes to shit like this? Like, it's, like marijuana is not the cause. Marijuana is not like, it's like saying, oh, these 4 people were people who always wore shirts. And see, look, they caused this shooting. Like, no, like it's not. That's not the cause. Like,
exactly.
Just like correlation does not mean causation.
And if you want to bring out the facts about marijuana, like bring in the good facts about the great causes that it has brought for people within the U.S. Like, there has been some great benefits towards. Like, what about folks that been using medicinal? Like, have you seen any mass unalivings? Due to people that are like actually legally able to be used for that shit. Like, no.
Yeah, it was like that one time I told you about that documentary I saw, or at least the clip of the documentary of this man who had Parkinson's, right? And Parkinson's, like, you can't really control your body, so he was stiff. His muscles were all stiff. He couldn't really control his muscle movements and stuff like that. He couldn't relax. He was all. It looks like he was always stiff and like in pain from his muscles always being stiff and not really in his control. And they gave him some THC oil, I believe, like a tincture that he dropped on his tongue. 10 minutes later, he was relaxed. He was chill. He was laying on the couch. He was like, oh, wow. Like, he was chilling. Like, he was just able to move normally and just like normal people, right? And like, those are the good effects of medicinal marijuana, right? And yeah, I don't think that people should be using it as consistently as they do. I think that it can have effects on you when you use it too much. But don't blame marijuana for this. Marijuana did nothing to deserve this. Like anyone who's paying attention, we know it's mental health. We know it's mental health. Like, we knew because it was like obviously a drop when the beer bug pandemic started, right? So when the beer bug started, everyone was inside, so there wasn't really any unalivings. But then when people started coming out more, affected really mental health. Yeah, and then it started shooting up again because people are obviously outside again. Yeah. So, and it's like just kind of like recently, like everyone's kind of agreed that like the pandemic is like low key over.
Right.
So it's like, you're gonna start seeing it ramped up again because it was a problem that we never addressed. Or at least never. I don't think we ever like reasonably addressed it.
Yeah, we never said like, oh, it's over. Like, because there's still.
Well, I'm talking more so about the mass unaliving problem that we have, because that's been a big problem since Virginia Tech and Columbine.
Folks are trying to divide the situation with the whole thing that we talked about last episode.
Oh yeah, the Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, like they're trying to.
Oh man, yo, that's one thing that has not gone off my timeline, bro. Oh my god, like, cause there's people who are constantly trying to, and we're not gonna jump back into this because I think we've already said what we have to say. We have a Patreon episode for it. We have the second episode for it. If you really want to hear what we gotta say, go back into those episodes and listen to what we said. Get to the Patreon.
We'll probably bring guests, honestly.
Just, and
to the final finisher for stuff about Roe v. Wade and our final thoughts about this whole situation. Because we're not trying to.
I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. And I think. I think 3 times is enough. I think 3 times is enough to talk about it. But this is something like folks are trying to like sweep under the rug, and it's a real, it's something serious, and they're trying to like put. It's like what we talked about, check your facts. Check your facts when you're talking about some things, because you may have a strong beliefs of like why this may be wrong or why this may be right, but like if you don't have logistics, statistics, or any of that things of that nature, like how are you gonna have people understand as to what you're saying, let alone you trying to influence people as to what you're getting at. Yeah, I think Fox News' narrative though is like, because every news station is gonna orient their story towards whatever the audience is, right? So like typically like Fox News is seen as a more conservative, more Republican based news network, right? So they're gonna pander to the people who don't agree with marijuana use, who think it should be outlawed or illegal, and they're going to blame that, right? Yeah. And the Republicans and conservatives have been doing this ever since back when we were kids. They used to blame video games. And they're still kind of trying to blame video games too.
Video games,
they're still trying to blame video
music,
games. Yeah,
like the whole 9 yards.
But you know what's funny though? Like, and as a fellow gamer, I'm pretty sure you can agree with me on this, and a lot of gamers can agree.
Right.
Video games are shit now. Video games are poo-poo.
So
video games are trash
boring.
now. Yeah, like it's not the same quality that we grew up with. It's not the same originality that we grew up with.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing with movies too, but we're not gonna go into that. Yeah, like they used to blame video games. Yeah. They used to say, "Oh, these video games are violent, blah blah blah." Yo, I used to play. That's all I did when I was a kid was play video games. I used to be in the house, play video games with my dad. And you know, he didn't have free time. I'd be playing video games all day long, right?
Yeah, but we don't see you, doing stuff that's on the news.
Yeah, you don't see me freaking two-tapping people in the mall, right? Like you don't see me doing that.
You don't put people on Fox 5.
Yeah, like it's a bullish argument. We're trying to do better with the monetization worthiness and stuff like that when it comes. I try not to curse in the beginning, right? But it's a bullish argument, right? This stuff we pretty much know what the problem is, right? Because most of these mass unalivings are done by men. Usually young men, and usually young white men. Usually. Not always, but usually. And I'm pretty sure that we've all kind of come to the conclusion that it's more of a mental health issue. And it's more of a fact that men are not really taken care of in society. You know? Like, men aren't really given priority. Men aren't really given the allowance, I guess I would say, to express emotions the same way that women usually do. And a lot of times we're just kind of expected to tough it up and be a man. And that's not giving these people excuse for what they do. But I'm saying if we were to focus a little bit more on the actual root of the cause and stop just blaming these arbitrary factors like, oh, marijuana, video games, these people aren't working, or oh, rap music, or whatever the fucking case may be. Like, whatever the case may be, right? But you know that I think that there's a bigger play at the higher levels, at the higher echelons of society. There's people who are trying to subvert your eyes and who are trying to keep us divided and fighting, right? So that's where I think a lot of this comes from. Because for the most part, a lot of conservatives are some of the most, and some liberals too, but just in general, there's a lot of logical people on both sides of the argument who are smart enough to see. But I see oftentimes, especially in this whole woke culture, the conservatives usually have their head, screwed on pretty straight. So to just simply blame marijuana or video games or rap music, it's such a cop out. You feel me?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's that same old argument.
I don't know. They're gonna realize like that shit's redundant. It's like, okay, we get it. Like, Jesus, like what are y'all trying to go with?
But I think they do. I think because I think these people are not stupid, right? Now the politicians, like Joe Biden, and like the people who've been in politics all their life, never worked a damn job, like Joe Byron, right?
Don't get me started on y'all president.
Like Joe Byron, right? Joe Byron has never really worked a for real job. Like he's always been in politics, so it's like he is massively like out of touch with society. The richer people in the top echelons of society, they're out of touch with the average person, right? But a lot of these people are not stupid. A lot of these people know what they're doing, but they'll just pander to people like we're stupid. I don't know about you, but I don't like having my intelligence insulted.
I feel that shit.
So that's where I have a problem.
I feel that every day. I literally feel that every day. Like,
stupid
could be doing so much better, but then it's just like you feel like you're literally the smartest person in the room, and then they treat you like they're talking to a goddamn second grader. I'm just like, bro, like, stop playing with me.
yeah. It's because like the average person, and this is the problem too when it comes to democracy, because that now recently I've understood democracy more, and I've understood why we can't have a complete democracy. Or at least you can't have a complete democracy and have it work.
Right.
Because the average person, oh, damn, I can't say I really would say what I want to say, but the average person is stupid. The average person is really stupid. Like, the average person does not have.
The R word?
Yeah, I was going to say the R word. Yeah. But, man, if this is a Patreon episode, I would have let it fly. Yo.
Stupid.
But, yeah, the average person is just too stupid to really understand and grasp these concepts because, like, a lot of times, politics is very complicated. You feel me? Like, politics and, like, policies and all these other things, like, it's so complicated. And it's like, unless you're really doing your due diligence and researching from both sides and really trying to get a good understanding of the argument, a lot of the times these arguments aren't really given the proper coverage, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's never really addressed fully, and it's like, you have two different sides of the argument, and they kind of understand their side, but they're not trying to understand the other side. They're not trying to come to a compromise. So that's where democracy becomes, like, a complete democracy becomes very difficult. But then at the same time, we have a democratic republic like we do. We elect our leaders. The people are still fucking stupid. They're still stupid.
It's like we lose either way.
Yeah, you lose either way. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, in my mind, I don't think no matter what political system you have, whether it be democracy, like full democracy, democratic republic, socialist, communist, or whatever effed up political system you could think of, I think you're going to lose either way. Because I think that there's always going to be some type of drawback, right? Because there's always going to be people who want power, and always going to be people who are going to be in positions of power and who will abuse it, like Stalin or like our government. I'm not trying to draw a parallel, right? I'm just saying that there's people who abuse powers in all, sects of political realms, right? But yeah, I think that's where it gets very difficult. So it's like, either way, you're going to lose in some way. You just have to accept the consequences of whichever political system you take on. There's going to be some more severe consequences for some others, like mass genocide. But, we're not, I'm just... Yeah, that's like one of the more extreme consequences, and then you have people pandering to you like you're stupid, or paying a narrative to make you draw your attention away from, like, ooh, look at this shiny object. Ooh, look, marijuana is the cause of mass unalivings. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Don't worry about what's going on over here. Don't worry about what Pfizer's doing. Don't worry about what the government's doing. Look over here. So, yeah, it's crazy, man.
You got any final thoughts on this?
Nope. That was my final thoughts. That was my final thoughts.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But hey, man, welcome to your favorite radio show killers, The Last Breed. I'm your host, Browardshinobi.
I'm your co-host, TDO.
And this is episode 3.
Oh yeah. Damn, son. Slapaholics. Remember them old little things, like the fucking, like the Waka Flocka mixtapes and stuff like that?
Bro, I was thinking about, like, old YouTube. Like, yesterday, I was talking to someone about that yesterday. I'm just like, bro, happened to good old days. Like, you just, like, watching, like, good videos on YouTube. Like, shit was actually, like, funny.
Yep.
Like, you didn't have to worry about people getting canceled.
Yep.
You didn't have to, like, unless it was something, like, super severe.
Yeah,
but,
super
like,
severe.
Yeah, like, you didn't have to worry about people getting canceled. You didn't have to worry about people,
doxing.
Yeah, just a lot.
It was just such a simpler time.
Just a simpler time.
It was fun. It was less corporate,
Yeah.
And of course, because content creators had a tougher time back then.
Yeah.
Because it's like you weren't getting paid off of it, and it was just kind of like you made videos because it was something fun. It was something that you liked doing, and they would still be working their jobs on the side too.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad people are getting paid, but such a nicer time overall, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you think about it, like, back then, like, people were fine as to, like, where they were. Like, it, like, before, like, the whole 2008, like,
because the economy wasn't so effed up back then.
Before 2008, like, everything was, like, pretty chill. Like, we still had our bumps in the road, but, like, it was pretty chill. People, were still, able to get jobs. Smartphones were coming out. Like, Well, yeah. So yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, and the economy boomed, but I would say back in the 2000s, like early 2000s, everyone was pretty straight. Like, yeah, like things were going all right. From what I remember, of course, I was younger back then. I was a little kid back then in the early 2000s, but
nah, shit.
it was like people were actually able to go out and buy stuff. Gas wasn't severely overpriced.
Yeah.
Oh man, look, man, we need a time machine, man, because I just want to go back. Like
Jesus, man.
Yeah, because the way things are going now, I'm like, yo,
like shit was so much easier back then.
Yeah.
But how you doing today, man?
I'm all right today. I have no complaints. I got my coffee right here. Because I woke up like around 7, so we got ready and everything. But I'm chilling today. I got a day off, so I really didn't do much of shit. I started rewatching Stranger Things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I heard they came out with a 4th season.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what?
Yeah, they released volume 2 last week. Because it was like the first half of season 4. Then they released the second half of season 4 last Friday. Is. Yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay. So, yeah, because I heard about that recently. And I was like, okay, like, I'll go ahead and, like, rewatch it, because I did watch the first 2 seasons and I stopped watching it because I kind of stopped caring for a little bit. I was like, okay, let me go ahead and jump into this again, because it was an interesting story for like the first season, because that's what got everyone's attention, got everyone on the whole Stranger Things bandwagon.
Yeah.
So
I still haven't watched it.
Oh, you still haven't watched it? Yeah, no. I'm on like episode 3 right now. I'm like, okay, like this was really good back then. We'll see how the rest of it turns out.
Yeah, like whatchamacallit, like when 13 Reasons Why came out, I didn't watch it because it was just like,
I watched the first 2 seasons. Yo,
honestly, it felt like after season 1, what was the whole point of it? It was just like you dealing with like, it's like one of those like, it's like one of those like shows like kind of like One Punch Man, where it's not dealing like with the who's the like what's about, with the character. But in this case, it's like someone died. You're figuring out like who actually like drove her to her death. Then it's just like when you do figure it out, then it's just like a whole bunch of other shit.
That whole time, I was just like, like at the end, because it was so funny. Like it was at the beginning of the whole 13 Reasons Why. I was like, oh, okay, like you kind of feel sympathy for the character because like they passed and they took their life and stuff like that. And it's like throughout the series, I'm just like, this is why. Because some kids in high school were mean to you?
No.
Give me a fucking break.
No, because it was just like, you got mad because someone said you got a fat ass.
Yeah.
You know how many these girls will say that's a compliment?
But and I can see as a girl, like it could be like uncomfortable and blah 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 whatever.
Yeah, that's understandable. But it's just like
it depends on who it comes from for a lot of women too.
And I'm not gonna lie, because she did go through a crepe situation with Bryce.
Kinda. I don't know. I have my issues with that, but I can understand what where people will say it was, but at the same time, I got my issues with that.
Yeah, it's some things I can see like that were kind of leading towards it, but like the actual focal points, like nah, I don't understand it. And this is me I advocate mental health, like regardless of like how like shitty you are or whatever, like if you have problems within mental health, like I completely understand as someone who went through that, but it's just like, come on, my nigga, like really?
Like, some
really?
Some of it was kind of blown out of proportion in my eyes. And like I wanted to, because it was like from my perspective, I was like, okay, it was more so of showing the impact. It was showing it from her perspective in some ways, but it was more so of like showing the impact it had on others around her. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of like an interesting artistic perspective. Okay, I'll sit around for it, right?
Yeah.
And then by the end of the season, I'm just like, what? And then I was like, okay, let me give it one more shot. Let me give it one more shot to see where it goes. because I think they have something more to build off on. And then after that, I was like, no more. I'm cutting it off. But
I don't know. That's why I hate Netflix, honestly.
yeah, Netflix has kind of gone down the drain and this is what happens, man. Like companies get really money hungry, get like really greedy, and then they start just passing every effing thing. Like the episode of Rick and Morty when Morty got a Netflix special or he got a Netflix TV show or something like that.
Yeah, Netflix TV show.
Yeah, like he pitched his idea to Netflix and they were just like, oh, Morty, don't be too impressed. Netflix just gives out shows to anybody. Like I'm just like, dang, that's kind of what it feels like. And it was so crazy, man. Like when Netflix was first like a thing before they really got popular, and I had Netflix. And when they started their Netflix originals used to mean something.
Yo,
like they really
especially
used
the movies.
Yeah,
them
like
shits used to be a banger.
the shows were bangers, the movies were bangers. Every Netflix original was a banger, and then it was like guaranteed. Bro. If it said Netflix original, I was like, oh, I'm saving that. I want to see that later.
Netflix
right?
needs to run me my one for taking out this one show. Like I hate when they two shows. Grand Army and I Am Not Okay With This, because it was too, especially Grand Army. Like you left that shit at a fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me like you fired all of them? Like come on now.
Yeah, and then they'll be like pushing TV shows like Sweet Home. This is like this Korean TV show. It was like based off of like a book or something like that. I started watching that. I've never been so confused in my effing life, bro. I've never been so damn confused. I'm just like, yo, what's happening? Where's the story going?
Is it K-drama or?
I guess a K-drama.
Like Korean drama?
I ain't not like a drama. I guess you could. But it's like it has action and like CGI and like, mystical stuff in there and stuff like that. It's about like this guy who moves into a new apartment building and everything in there is just weird. Like everything in there is just weird. Something happens. There's monsters everywhere. It's an interesting concept. It's just poorly executed, in my opinion. Yeah. And it's just like the storytelling. I'm just like, yo, I don't know who is who, what's going on, and who the hell I'm supposed to care about. Like, I couldn't even find a way to care about any character, right? So, I think that was just a badly written show. I think it's just too many shows get greenlit, and they just throw too many shows out there, and it's not enough creativity. They just throw shit to the wall and just see what sticks. You feel me?
Yeah.
But but that's it all for me. I've been chilling. I also watched Doctor Strange today. It was interesting.
The second one?
Yeah.
Oh, you actually watched it?
Yeah. I'm so glad I found it on the place I go to watch things for free. Because I did not want to pay for that ticket price and go all the way out there to the movie just to watch it. So I'm glad for that. But
I ain't gonna lie, I gotta give that shit a 6 out of 10. I could have told you because it was on Disney Plus, so I could have
Oh, it's fine. But I just saw it. And I'm just like, okay, I'll go ahead and watch it. And it was all right.
They should have made that shit a rated R. They should have made that shit rated R.
Yeah, I did like the elements of it, but also the directing style was much different from what I'm used to in a Marvel movie. So that was interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much all about it I did today.
Okay.
Yeah, how you doing today, man?
I'm actually pretty good, honestly. The past few days was kind of shit, but today, like I literally woke up early and I don't know, something like shifted, but work, being work. But aside from that, like everything good. Getting stuff ready for the weekend, going to this little event that Pink Flamingo is having that I told you about.
Yeah.
Gonna see the little Yachty and the dude that voiced Michael from GTA 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got him.
Okay.
Yeah, they got him to be there. Like, bro, it's a whole lot of things that's going on. So, Lil Yachty's gonna be there. Dude from GTA 5 is gonna be there, and then Quavo is apparently having a movie. He's having a movie in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Some like action movie type shit. So, and he's having they're having these little QR codes to have like auditions and all that stuff. So hopefully, like I can get one of those because I already have like the VIP access and shit for for the fucking event. So I'm just like, yo, if I get that VIP access and I can get past the thing and I get an extra in a Quavo,
yeah,
bro, I feel like I'll be set for like the rest of the year.
That kind of makes sense because it was funny when I was watching Narcos and I saw the Migos. Like they actually put the Migos in Narcos.
They put the Migos in Narcos.
Yeah, they put the Migos in Narcos.
Like the actual show.
The actual show. They actually put the Migos in there. Yeah, man. Yo, Narcos at the height of its popularity, it was booming, man. In my opinion, the first 2 seasons of Narcos, best seasons at all. But just everything in general, it's amazing. It's just Narcos is like one of my top TV shows of all time. That's one thing I'm glad that came out of Netflix is Narcos.
Hey, creators did smart putting the Migos on there.
Yeah, very smart. Yeah, and it was funny too because they kind of incorporated them in the story a little bit. So like it wasn't just a cameo. Like they had like a few scenes, like not like long scenes, but they had like I think like 3 or 4 scenes from what I remember.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, man, gotta look into Narcos, man.
R.I.P. to Migos.
Oh yeah, they dead and gone.
Yeah,
dead and gone. I can't sing. I'll leave that to the other Justin.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, other than that, everything's pretty good. I'm waiting for summer, honestly, to be over. Well, classes to be over, and then summer to be over. I've just been really like bored, for real. Cause all I do is like go to class, wake up, go to class, go to work, come here, eat, work out, walk my dog, sleep.
Yeah.
So it's just been really like, you try to do the same routine every single day, and especially like when you're installing like healthy habits, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, doing the same exact some stuff you're doing the same exact thing. It becomes really redundant.
Yeah, it starts to get mundane. Like even though you know it's good for you and it's cool and everything, like you kind of want to break from reality. You kind of want something different in your life because I believe that's kind of how we evolved to seek new things, to find new things, to go new places, experience new things and stuff like that. And I think that's very important for. If you want to talk about mental health, I think that's very important for mental health.
Right.
I think it is good to be on like a self-improvement grind and have some routine to your life to get your life on track. But once you kind of start to get your life on track, I think you do need to start going out and getting more experiences and doing more things.
I feel like
because if you don't, it's gonna mess with you, man.
And I feel like that's the thing. Like, whatchamacallit, my finances are getting better.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing, I'm trying to, get my stuff together well with school. Yeah, just trying to get, things well adjusted. It's just like, ooh. But then I don't want to I want to make sure like everything is concrete first before like I try to do any changes. So that way, like if something slips, I could, be like, oh, okay. Just, make sure that doesn't happen. Or make sure something bad doesn't happen is all. But no, other than that, everything's been pretty straight. So
that's good. That's good. Within these next few months, I'm dedicated to actually getting out more again. So that because I've been in like freaking monk mode, hermit mode for like the past 2 going on like 3 years or whatever, and I've made a lot of progress. I'm just at the point I'm just like, I need to change pace. You feel me?
Bro.
So yeah.
Yeah, let me know, cause I'm gonna be going to Atlanta. A few times a month on the weekends. Just to get some exposure and all that stuff.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah, if you're trying to actually get some shit, like let me know.
Yeah, shit. Why not? It's way better than staying in the house. I'll tell you that.
I don't blame you. But on to more pressing matters. Independence Day. We got a tweet from Juju. How she look? She look unseasoned.
Why she look like that?
Yeah, she look unseasoned. But she says, 4th of July gotta be the lamest holiday. What the F are we even celebrating? And it got
independence from Britain. I don't know if you skip history class, but that's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah.
Did you want to go through the rest of them, or you just kind of want to jump into the conversation? Because And to give you all, our listeners, a little bit more context, I saw this because I've been seeing recently, especially with the popularity of Juneteenth over the past few years, that, and even before the Juneteenth got more popular, that people have been,
No, I said the people who celebrating Juneteenth now, y'all some frauds.
Well, they didn't know about it back then, so I ain't gonna, you know.
No, I'm talking about the folks that knew about it, but saying like, it's
yeah,
not a real holiday.
Oh yeah.
That's some frauds.
Yeah,
bro.
it's frauds. But you fakes, all of you fakes.
Some phonies.
But oh shit, people are probably not gonna get that reference. That was from a movie, Dogma. We gotta put that, man. That movie was. If you're religious, don't watch that movie. Yo, I loved that movie as a kid. And, oh man, that movie was so funny. Man, we got to watch that. Dogma is so.
Dogma?
Yeah, Dogma. It was with Ben Affleck, Chris Rock, Salma Hayek, Matt Damon. Like, it was a lot of big names. That guy who, from Harry Potter who died. That guy that from Harry Potter. I never watched Harry Potter, but I know that he was from Harry Potter. It wasn't Alec Baldwin. It wasn't, because that's not his name. Alex something, I think. Either way, but yeah, it had a lot of big names in there.
Yeah,
and George Carlin too, and yeah, it was basically it was a movie about religion, mainly about Christianity and Catholicism. And man, it was so funny.
Oh shit.
Yeah, at least when I was a kid, and yeah. But anyway, so ever since the growing popularity, even before the growing popularity of Juneteenth, Black people, I've been noticing that we've been seeing over the years. Oh, why we even celebrate? The 4th of July when our ancestors weren't free on 4th of July, and blah blah blah, and this and that, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be an interesting topic to talk about whether we believe Black people should, and Black Americans should celebrate the 4th of July or not.
Right.
And whether they should just celebrate Juneteenth instead, or whether they should celebrate both, or not celebrate 4th of July. And what are your thoughts when you hear that?
Hey man, when it comes to 4th of July, I only celebrate 1881. Good old Mother Tuskegee, aka the pride of the swift-growing South.
So, as someone who doesn't celebrate 4th of July, what are your reasons? Why not?
Well, mainly because I mean, like folks said, like we weren't really free.
Mm-hmm.
Due to 4th of July, like you're a kid. You're a kid. Like the schools don't really teach you like I was the only black, like I was like literally like the only black kid like in my classroom.
Oh, I've been that before.
Yeah,
I've been there before. Yeah,
the only black kid like in a predominantly white classroom. So that shit sucks.
You're like the odd card out. You're like the oddball out.
Bro, I should have brought my fucking yearbook. Oh my god, like. And I mean, like, there were, like, like, maybe, like, one or two, like, Hispanics, people, like, love other cultures. But, like, if we're talking about, like, full-on black, because, I am Caribbean, but, like, we're talking about full-on black, nah, that's me, man. That's me in that classroom. But, yeah, like, yeah, it's just mainly, like, it just feels like a facade for me. Like, because why are we celebrating, America? And trying to proud to be an American, anything, like it sucks. Like what you call it? Like you mean to tell me my parents had to struggle just to get into America, just for me to deal with student loans, taxes, and
well, so I think you've also been misled too. I think we've all been misled.
Yeah, we've all been misled. Like trying to build.
We've been lied to.
We're trying to build credit and shit, and I'm just like, which.
Don't even get me started on that, yo,
bro. Oh my god, like
I have so much knowledge to go into rants about so much stuff, but I choose not to.
Yeah, but yeah, all in all, like 4th of July, like, I'm not telling you what to celebrate or what not to celebrate. I mean, unless if you go to Tuskegee, you have no choice but to celebrate only Tuskegee's Founders Day. If you don't, you need to transfer. But other than that, like, I just don't really see a need to celebrate a holiday where, like, people of our color were not, necessarily, like, celebrated with. So
okay,
that's just my thoughts.
That's a good take. That's an interesting take. Okay.
What about you?
I think we probably should. I think we should. So yeah, I used to feel the same way. In terms of when I found out about Juneteenth a few years back, I was like, what the fuck? We have a holiday and I didn't even know. Like what? Like, because I remember hearing about Kwanza in school. No one celebrated Kwanza. Like nobody can celebrate Kwanza. No, I think I might try to celebrate Kwanza with my family whenever I have a family. I think we're gonna celebrate multiple holidays. So whatever culture. If my wife is from a different culture, we'll probably celebrate those cultures as well, or those holidays as well as the.
No, I'm sorry, she gotta be black.
Stuff.
Yeah, my wife gotta be black if I'm celebrating Kwanzaa, cause.
I don't even care if she white. We still celebrating Kwanzaa.
Hell no.
I don't care.
I can't. No.
I would, but that's just me. But yeah, I think we should, because our ancestors did build a very a very large portion of America.
Yeah.
Right. Our culture, our influence is it's not debatable, right? Our ancestors fought for independence.
Yeah, they did.
In the Civil War. We had many black soldiers who would sign up to fight in the Civil War. We had black people who signed up to fight in the Revolutionary War, if I'm not mistaken. I know that. I know that the British was like, "Hey, y'all ain't free over here. Come over to our side. We'll free you if you fight for us, right?" So that happened too. But yeah, like, and you have people like Harriet Tubman and many other people who, risked their lives to come over and free the other slaves, right?
Yeah.
And it is messed up that slavery did happen. It happened. It's not like me denying it. It didn't or anything like that, or it doesn't have any relevance or any importance. Slavery is a big part of American history, right? But also black people, as well as white people, as well as Mexican, people, I'm talking about native Mexican people at that time. Before we took their land, unfortunately, too, we took theirs too, and also the Asian people who came over working on the railroads and stuff like that, and tunnel systems in LA. Like, so many of them contribute to American society and what it means to be an American. And I believe, unfortunately, that a lot of times the rhetoric that has been spread about what it means to be American or being an American often is related to being white. I will say that it's often related or conflated with being white.
Yeah.
Because whenever like, say if you go to China and if you're like a white person or whatever, they'll 9 times out of 10 they'll probably assume that you're American. But if you go to China and you're a black person, they'll probably assume that you're from Africa. Which is really messed up, but it's also at the same time we also have to realize that, like, there also is kind of like ethnicity in culture of a country kind of usually go hand in hand. Like, usually, like, when you go to Russia, you don't see black people, right? Like, you don't see black people because it's just not black people over there, right? When you go to China, you see Chinese people, you see Asian people. You don't really see black people or whatever, right? But, in America, it's much different because you have all different types of people. And the American spirit should be about freedom, independence, the right to keep and bear arms, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Like they always say. That's what it should be about. And that's where I think that it is good to celebrate if you do see yourself as American, because America is it's better than most countries, right? So like, say for instance, one time Andrew Tate said, if you come to America, whether you're from Mexico, you're from Venezuela, Nicaragua, Thailand, Singapore, Russia, China, Africa, it doesn't fucking matter, right? If you come to America and you gain your citizenship and you work hard, you are an American, right? You weren't American born, but at that point you are an American, and no one has that right. No one can take that away from you, right?
Yeah.
But if you go to China, it doesn't matter how long you've been there. It doesn't matter how long you've been speaking Chinese. Like, and this one thing that really like shocked me that I didn't never realize in my life. Asian countries are the most racist out of all of the countries. Asian countries are the most racist out of them all, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Because it doesn't matter how long you stay in China, it doesn't matter how long you stay in Japan or Korea or wherever, you are always black, and you will never.
Korea is worse. So like,
Korea is bad,
bro. I got a friend. So I got a friend who. So I got a mutual friend whose boyfriend talks about like some of the stuff like in Korea, because he's from damn, I forgot which part. I think it was which one. Which one is like as far as like economy wise, like people like move out from?
What do you mean? Like which country?
Which part of Korea?
Like, which part of Korea?
Yeah, like which part of Korea? Like mostly like most like Koreans like would like move out of.
I'm gonna be honest. The only country I don't think I know like 2 cities or 3 cities in Korea. It's like Busan, Seoul, and I only know 2 cities in Korea. I only know 2 cities in Korea. Yeah, I'm not sure about the other ones. I think it may be the ones maybe more inward, because I have heard about their economy, because like their economy is kind of limited because they're kind of like at the bottom of like a peninsula.
I think it's North Korea. I think so.
No, South Korea. South Korea is the
South
good.
Korea?
Well, it's the quote unquote good one. Right.
Oh, South Korea is the good one?
Yeah.
No, so I think that's what I'm saying. I think it was he was talking about North Korea. He's from North Korea.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, he got out. Okay.
Yeah, he graduated.
Oh, you were asking what country, which one? Whether okay, my bad.
What's the one with like the bad, economic?
Okay. The basically the dictatorship. Okay. Yeah. That's North Korea.
Yeah, because he was talking about like as far as like the social norms with like black people, and then as far as like with the whole Black Lives Matters thing. Like,
well, they shouldn't really know about that over there.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
like, They don't. They know nothing. Like, in his eyes, like he does it like. Well, like for him, like he's at the neutral, so it's just like I don't know shit, so I can't really say shit about it.
Yeah.
So and we're trying to like teach him how to like bit by bit of like history and all that shit. Cause like we were joking about some shit, and he was just like, wait, what? He was like, wait, this happened?
Yeah, and it's messed up, but at the same time, I think that black people probably should celebrate 4th of July, because I think we are alienating ourselves more. I don't think that this political divide is good for us, good for our culture, good for our communities, as well as just America in general, right? And I think at a certain point, we shouldn't just forget slavery. Like, we shouldn't forget we shouldn't just be like, oh, we're just going to forget and just act like it never happened. No, like, still remember the past and still remember your culture and your history and where you got all this from, right? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of black culture today is shaped after some of the stuff that we went through with slavery, and also still some of our African roots as well. But I don't think we should be holding as much of a grudge, because, like, I watched a video of, because I've been thinking about going to Latin America and going to to South America and Central America, and as well as Mexico, and visiting and stuff like that. And there were like a few people who were like having interviews with like Mexicans, right? So like some Mexicans and I think some Colombians too, right? Mm-hmm. And they were asking them how they felt about Spaniards, right? Because the Spaniards were the one who came and conquered their lands, enslaved their people, craped a lot of women, killed a lot of people, and stole a lot of gold, right? And the Mexicans and like a lot of the Latin Americans, they're just like, oh no, we're cool with them. We have no ill will towards them. And like they literally decimated their whole land. Like they took like precious resources from them. You feel me? So yeah, like I do think that we shouldn't forget our history. And yeah, we shouldn't forget that black people were not free on the 4th of July. But at the same time, we do have ancestors who did fight for our our people and who did fight for this country in order, for it to become what it is today. Because let's be honest, like if you were just to say like, oh, like what race is responsible for America being what it is today, you can't put it on one race. Yeah, the white people came and settled, and the black people built a lot of it, right? The Asians did help a lot when it came to the west of America. You have a lot of the Mexican Americans who helped a lot in the southern regions, but they're also a big help today in a lot of the construction jobs and a lot of the tougher jobs that a lot of Americans don't want to do now, right?
Yeah.
Like that, I think, is what it should mean to be an American. What we should look at being an American as.
Yeah, and I'm not discrediting like all the work that we done to build this nation.
Yeah.
It's just I just feel like we should have things that are like more better, like especially like with things going on right now.
Yeah.
Like like things are coming at an all-time low, so I just feel like we just need to like, I don't know, have things better for us to be treated like equally, like how we're supposed to be. So that's just my issue. Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
So let's because I think this is good. I think this is a good conversation to have, and I think this is going into very interesting territory. So you say that we should be treated equally,
like as far as race. Yeah.
So I would. Okay, let me see how I'm gonna construct this, right? Because I don't want to go in like left field, be like, what that nigga say? Like,
what he say?
So I think that a lot of this is black people's fault. I think a lot of it is the black community's fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that I'll say it like this. I believe that no matter how hard we try, we will never be seen as or treated completely equal. I'll say it like that, right? What are your thoughts on that? That's just my belief. I believe that we will never be completely seen or treated as equal as other people. So how do you feel about that?
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, like I do like understand. I understand what you're saying as far as like we can never like how you and I view each other.
Yeah.
Versus like how another group of people from a different ethnicity would view them versus how they would view us. Like especially like we're young, educated. We don't go out and do like
hood rat shit with our friends.
Yeah, hood rat shit with our friends. I mean, we do ignorant shit. Like, don't get me wrong, we do ignorant shit.
I like to do bad things. Like, I smoke cigarettes.
Cigarettes. Yeah, like we do ignorant shit, but it's like, there are like, it's a lot of things that divide not only like everyone, but like you said, like it divides like us, like within that one particular group.
Yeah.
Because you got people that stay with the ignorance shit.
Yep.
And then you got people that want to, actually, do like more structural things with their lives.
Yeah.
Then you got people that are conflicted of like what they want to do in the middle. You got people that don't want to do anything. Then
it's a whole mess, right?
Yeah, it's a whole mess. So it's and I see as to why you're saying like we can't really like folks won't be able to see each other, as equals.
Yeah. So like, and my main argument for this, right, is that, for instance, like when people see or talk to us, right, that who are like from other races, they're fairly surprised that we don't act like or talk like a lot of the majority of what other black people do and say, right? And that doesn't like, and it's understanding because like, okay, so like let me say from this perspective, my mind is all over the place. I'm trying to structure my thoughts, right?
Yeah, you good.
So have you ever been in a situation with someone who's kind of surprised or said like, oh, like you don't act like the other black people or whatever, right? Or like,
Nah, the usual response I usually get is like, "Oh wow, you're so proper." And
yeah,
it's like,
yeah, I get that too. Yeah,
yeah. It's
so
like, okay,
and
what do you
that,
expect? Like,
yeah, but then at the same time, I think to myself, I'm like, what is the average black person that this person, like, what is the average black stereotype that this person sees on a regular basis,
right,
to make them be surprised that I am the way I am, right? That is my issue. So I think that a lot of it lies within our own community. I think a lot of us wanting to be treated at least more fairly in society, a lot of it comes from within our own community. I believe so. Because if it's shocking to people that you are well educated and that you're able to talk properly, or that they call you proper just for being a normal person, then that's a shock, right? And then it's like we've worked at a gas station before. We know how ignorant niggas can get, all right? We know how stupid they can get, right? And it's telling. So I think that's one thing. One thing we would have to change the internal structure of our community, what we value and our mindset, right? And it was funny too because I listened to this guy Thomas Sowell. He's a older black gentleman. I think he's in like his 80s or 90s. He grew up in like Harlem, like way back. And one of his things is that he was saying that black culture now, it was much different in the beginning. So like black culture, there used to be a congregation of community, right? Like we used to support our own communities, like Black Wall Street, which is Tulsa, Oklahoma, like Seneca Village, like all these, like we used to support our communities and stuff like that, right? Even back like before, like in the 50s and the 40s and shit like that, right? Like we used to support our own communities. We used to do right. We used to teach our children properly. We used to be a lot better. And then a lot of things happened, right? But now there's more value on being ignorant, on being a hood nigga, on trapping, on doing this and that, right? And a lot of it is some of the culture too. But Thomas Sowell was saying that the black community, the black culture, adopted the hillbilly or the redneck culture, which is basically like they are very heavy on religion. They don't care too much for education. They don't care too much for hard work. They usually blame the rich people. They usually blame other people for their problems, right? That kind of sounds very similar to our culture, right? Yeah. And that's what Thomas Sowell's argument kind of was. So I say all this to say that I think our culture right now is the problem with the way that we're treated. Now, I'll also go a step further and say that I don't believe that I don't even believe that if we overhauled the whole black community and the black community just like, we stop having so many out of wedlock marriages, we stop having so much baby mama drama, we stop having so many, young brothers in the streets killing and shooting each other, we stop having all this crime, all this and that, right? And start having people on the right path. I still don't think that a lot of people will treat you the same as their own people. I don't think that white people all of a sudden say, "Oh yeah, you can date my daughter," like I don't think like a lot of Asian Americans be like, "Oh yeah, we're cool now." Like no, like I think that this whole idea of, oh, race doesn't matter, race isn't a thing, blah blah blah. It's like, that's bullshit. If we're being honest, I think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because when I see someone on the street, I can analyze them, right? And we talked about this to a certain extent with like someone walking down the street, like for instance, like me as a black man having more fear for a black guy walking past me on the street at dark at night in a hoodie versus a white guy, right? I have more fear towards the black person because of, not because of societal conditioning for anyone says some dumb shit like that. No, it's just because I just know what it is.
Yeah.
I just know the reality, right?
Right.
And even if that isn't the reality, like even if black people didn't commit more crimes, people are still going to see you and analyze you and put you into a box, because that's just how our brains are. If I walk down the street and I see you, I'm like, okay, he's black, but he's like a darker skin tone than me, right? I'm like, okay. If I walk down another dude on the street, I'm like, oh, okay, he's like a light-skinned, black person. He's like, he might be mixed, but he's mostly black, or at least he seems mostly black, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I walk past an Asian person, it's not like I don't see that they're Asian. It's like, oh, I don't see race. Shut the fuck up. Shut the hell up. No, I see his eyes. I see his skin tone. I see his characteristics. Yeah. I see that, right? I see his hair texture. I see all of that. We as humans we're programmed to think that way. We're programmed to see things that way. So I don't think that we'll just be treated equally to white people in every single endeavor, even if we fixed everything. But that doesn't mean that we can't make it better, and that doesn't mean that we can't make our perception in this country better.
We should have later on.
What?
An episode. Well, we'll talk about that behind the scenes. But
okay.
Yeah, cause this got me brainstorming with something.
Yeah.
But yeah. Back to what you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that we can make our perception better, and I think that. I think that. I think that so many agents at play have used the black community for their own advantage, have hindered the black community, have done a lot of things, right? But I think that we need to start looking inward and start fixing our own communities. And I think that we would see that things would go a lot better for us as a community in America if we started fixing ourselves. And then I think we'd probably have a different mindset towards the 4th of July. And I think that this division wouldn't be so damn strong within the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that black people should celebrate 4th of July, but I think at the same time we need to embody those traits or those things that our ancestors, not just the forefathers of the country, but also the ancestors fought for. Because look, yeah, did George Washington own slaves? Yes. Did was it Andrew Jackson or whatever own slaves? Yes. That was
Abraham
a sign of
Lincoln.
the times, right? If you hear a 90-year-old person say some outlandish crazy shit like, oh, all you Negroes are the same or something like that, like, even though it's like racist or whatever, it's like, can you blame him? Like, look at the time period he was born in. That was something normal for their time, right? Calling black people Negroes was a normal thing back in the early 1950s and 60s and before then, right? Like, and now it seems as like derogatory. Now it seems as offensive, right? The times change,
you
right?
got this new woke culture wanting to be like all, one eye and shit.
Yeah, and it's just this. Things change, right?
Things change.
So, and yeah, don't forget the past, but don't hold on to it to where you can't move forward into the future. Yeah. And that's where I think that we as black people are stuck. We're so fixated on the past, we can't move forward, right? So, yeah, that's all I have for that. That's my conclusion for that topic. You got anything else to say, to add on to that?
No, I hope if y'all do celebrate 4th of July, y'all had a good 4th of July. I know my sister was having a good time because we always have our relatives will always have this big event on 4th of July at our nana's house.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I'm kind of bummed I missed it, but
and at the end of the day, as an American, you do have the right to decide whether you want to celebrate something or not. That was one thing of that the forefathers envisioned, was the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, the freedom to bear arms, the freedom of all these other things, right? All these freedoms. So we don't have tyrannical governments telling us what to do and what not to do. So at the end of the day, as an American, you have the right to choose whether you can celebrate it or not. And hey, what's more American than that, right? Freedom. Having the right to choose, having that freedom. So. Yep. All right. So on to Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz is a upcoming comedian that I've been paying a lot of attention to. His stand-up, in my opinion, is fucking hilarious. I mean, this man just does not miss, right? So he's going to talk about a special that he recently did, and he's trying to release, and he's having some issues with that. So I think this is spark a good conversation about comedy, what goes too far, and what comedians have to deal with nowadays. So yeah, let's jump into it.
All right.
Basically, my special was with a streamer, and then we sent the streamer a finished version of the special, and they kind of freaked out, and they said, we can't put this out. These jokes are wild, and we don't want to deal with the backlash. So you're gonna have to edit some of these jokes, or just cut some of these jokes out entirely. And some of you probably know this about me. I'm a very stubborn guy. So, long story short, I took my fucking life savings and I bought my special back. And I don't know if this is going to work. I hope it does. But ultimately, it's up to you guys. I think people like real, authentic comedy. And I think that they would prefer that than some watered down corporate boardroom bullshit. I feel that way because I perform in front of thousands of people every single night, and they seem to really enjoy these jokes that are too offensive or could cause too much backlash. So that's my gamble. But ultimately, you guys decide. So I would really appreciate it if you guys spread the word, support me, and go to my website, theandrewschultz.com, and pre-order my new special, Infamous, right now. And yeah, that would mean the world to me. Thank you so much, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. Peace.
And see, the thing is that I do not usually do things like that when people are like, hey, go on my website, please support me, please do this, help me out, blah blah blah. But I fuck with this man so heavy to where I'm gonna pre-order his special. It's only about $15. So that's not bad. So I'm gonna pre-order his special, and shit, we can watch it. Shit, it could be a Patreon exclusive.
Oh, how long is it?
I'm not sure. It's probably gonna be like an hour and a half.
Okay. Yeah. We can watch. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna pre-order this man's special because I do believe the same thing he does. I think that comedy should be authentic. I believe that comedy should be the one realm to where we could be less political and just say what we need to say and just laugh about things, right? I think that is one realm. Now, what were you gonna say? What are your thoughts on this?
Nah. I got much respect. Like, you dipped into your fucking life savings just to buy the rights for your just to buy it back.
Yep.
Like, yeah, no, he really
that's a big move.
Yo, that's a man right there, like really serious about like what he wants to do.
Oh yeah, he does not fuck around. I mean, man, you need to watch his specials or just his stand up, man. Like not even a special or like a whole show. Just watch like some segments or some clips because you can find them on YouTube Shorts. This man is dropping bombs of jokes, man. I'm just like, and not dropping not bombing, but he is dropping bombs. Like he's just like he's just on target every time. Yeah. Boom, 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 and he'll just say some shit you just don't expect. He just does not. He doesn't hold back, and that's one thing I really genuinely like about him.
Yeah, that actually gave me motivation, like with some stuff because like I felt like I mean not just for like like comedy, like I'll get to that a little bit, but like just a small tangent, like I don't know, it just kind of shows like like you shouldn't let folks dictate as to like what you should put out just because like it's their realm of area, and they want to get backlash. They don't want to get backlash for bringing such a person like that, and blah blah blah. So yeah, but no comedy. Like I do feel as though comedy, like folks do need to like I said, like nowadays, folk, like when we talk about the YouTube thing, like folks nowadays are just like really, really, really sensitive.
Yeah.
And I can understand like when it comes to some certain topics, it does sound a little bit uneasy.
Yeah.
But when you actually like just let go of that, just perfect. Like
so I'm a antagonize a little bit. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So do you think it's okay to joke about, say, things like grape or genocide?
No,
What did you say, nigga?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. My boy. You could joke about genocide.
You say you could joke about genocide, but you can't joke about grape.
Niggas talk about genocide every single time. Like, joke about that shit every single time. But I ain't gonna. I don't know. Like, I will have to hear a joke about it. Cause like I mean, we know like that's something very serious that people have to do.
Pull up George Carlin. Pull up George Carlin right now.
Oh my God.
Do it right now.
Oh God. All right, fine.
Cause I really think that there probably shouldn't be lines in comedy. I think that should be one place where we should all be able to go. Type a joke about anything. Oh, back up. Right there, right at the top.
Now, keep in mind, we say that it is very serious, okay? We understand that it's a very serious topic to every one of y'all out there before y'all try to cancel us on some bullshit.
Pull your underwear out your ass. Like, pull your pants out of a
before
bunch.
y'all say
it's jokes, it's comedy. We're talking about comedy here.
Yeah, before y'all say, this is something very serious, but
if they're offended, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. So which one you want me to
the first one, because it's shorter.
All right.
This pride we're all gonna.
Oh my God! Yo,
I hate ads.
I hate these ads in particular. I keep getting them. I keep getting these, and I keep getting all this propaganda BS in my ads. I'm just like, yo, I don't want to see this. I don't care.
I'm surprised they're still doing the Trevor Project. Like,
I don't even know what the Trevor Project was. I don't give a shit.
I don't know what that is either, but hopefully they raise money for Trevor.
R.I.P. Trevor.
Oh, he's dead?
Not for when that died, before when it comes, because you know it's coming. Okay, I don't know who the. I don't know who the.
I ain't gonna lie, that was funny.
I don't know who the fuck Trevor is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
shit.
Yeah.
Let me look that. Well, I'll look it up. Well, all right.
Let me turn this up a little bit. All right, go ahead.
Something because it's not funny. Comedians run into that shit all the time. Like rape. They'll say, you can't joke about rape. Rape's not funny. I say, fuck you. I think it's hilarious. How do you like that? I believe you can joke about anything. It all depends on how you construct the joke. What the exaggeration is. What the exaggeration is. Because every joke needs one exaggeration. Every joke needs one thing to be way out of proportion. Give you an example. You ever see a news story like this in the paper? Every now and then you run into a story that says some guy broke into a house, stole a lot of things, and while he was in there, he raped an 81-year-old woman. And I'm thinking to myself, why? What the fuck kind of a social life does this guy have? I want to say, why did you do that? Well, she was coming on to me. We were dancing and I got horny. Hey, she was asking for it. She had on a tight bathrobe. I say, Jesus Christ, be a little fucking selective next time, will ya?
And then he went in a little bit deeper and harder later on in the special. We ain't gonna go into that. Okay. But yeah, I think he has a point there. I think that it's all about how you construct it. And like it's like you just can't say outlandish shit and then just expect like, oh, it's comedy. Like it's like no, like you actually have to try to set up like set it up, with a punchline, everything like that. Like you have to set it up properly. Even the timing of like between jokes, right? Mm-hmm. Like so say for instance, like if someone landed a joke in comedy and like you just kind of let the silence sit in the air after you hit the punchline, it makes it funnier. But if it's like you just hit the punchline, you just go on to the next one, and you just kind of do like rapid fire. Oh yeah. Depending on how it is, it can have a different effect. And sometimes like your jokes won't be able to have that much time to stick. You feel me? Right. So yeah, it's like those simple things. Like so many of those factors, count in comedy. And I think that really matters when it comes to being a comedian. And I think that you can joke about pretty much everything, because I think that Andrew Schultz has definitely shown that to be true. And I think that nigga's hilarious. You feel me? I think he's probably gonna be one of the GOATs of comedy one day, if he keeps going the path he is now. So yeah, I think that because from what they've been saying, he jokes about abortion, probably some other things. Like he stays pretty relevant and recent with the times. So he doesn't really hold punches, like I said, at all. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got to say.
Okay. I don't know.
You still think there should be a line?
Nah, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a line, like for the sake of comedy, but it's the whole crepe thing. Like I still gotta think about that. Like.
Yeah,
I'm not against,
I get it.
Yeah, I'm not against it, but it's just like, trying to be for it. Like,
my thing is that if we can joke about murdering people, if we can joke about full on genocide, if we can make Hitler and Stalin and Mao Zedong and all these people a punchline in comedy. If we can joke about Ukraine in comedy, if we can joke about Taiwan in comedy, this is one thing that Andrew Schultz said, right? It was this comedy show, and he was asking this woman in the crowd. He's like, "Oh, what are you? You're Asian. What Asian are you?" And she's like, "Oh, Taiwan." I was like, and he was like, "Oh, so Chinese pretty soon, right? Like it was like, and it was the whole crowd was dying, right? And that's a potential war where people are gonna get massacred and murdered, just like in Ukraine. And we can joke about that. Yeah. And we can sit here and joke about people getting killed and like Jews getting like holocausted and like all these other like massive atrocities. But rape is somehow out of the conversation. It's like, no, like we can talk about race. We can talk about genocide. We can talk about murder. We can talk about all these other things. Like we talk like literally everything under the sun, but rape is the one thing that we can't talk about.
I feel you.
And it's like, yeah, I think nothing should be off limits. We could joke about slavery. We could joke about a massive we could joke about human trafficking. But that's the one thing that's off the table. And to me, that's bullshit, But I get the hesitancy. Because you'll always get pushback from it. You always get people who are emotional about it and who push back against it. But
yeah, I mean, I really couldn't care less about people, honestly. Like, but it's just more so like like for me, like just thinking about it, like I just gotta get more used to it. But yeah. But other than that, like, but I still do think like comedy shouldn't have like any limits though. But it's just that subject. I'm like. Yeah, I gotta actually like hear like some joke, like some actual like jokes before like I could say like nothing's off limits. But yeah,
and damn, I was gonna throw something else on top of that before we concluded. Oh well, I forgot. All right, so it is what it is.
This nigga Myron.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
No, you also have a bias against him too, but
I mean, he's not. Some of the things he doesn't say wrong. It's his execution.
True, very true. Like, execution does matter.
It's literally the execution part that's the problem. Like I understand where he's getting at. Yeah, but like he be acting like a fucking chihuahua. Like, no, on God. Like, you acting like God.
No, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Like, you trying to be this whole alpha male type shit, and you just over here, like barking at people like you're better than them or some shit. Which I mean, like, you know, kudos to you. You know, you have your own, you know, podcast with, you know, somebody, and you know, it's able to, you know, go on top. That's cool or whatever. But come on now.
Yeah, I even recently checked their subscriber count because, you know, the whole Abba and Preach situation, and like they lost a lot of followers, but they gained them all back plus many more.
Yeah,
Like they're at like 728,000 right now.
yeah, because who's gonna stop? Who's gonna stop him? Like, I realize, like, you're not gonna be able to out troll a troll. That's how bro. If 6ix9ine wasn't on like that Fed shit, like you would see him on top. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, and he was on top. He was able to come back on top for a good minute, but it was just his relevance is just. I think it was those breaks he took.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The fact that he's not gunning for every single person. He's mostly gunning for like Dirk and like a select group of people. But
I haven't heard 6ix9ine. I haven't heard shit about 6ix9ine since honestly earlier this year. Honestly, yeah.
Well, I did show you a video. Like he dropped a video because he dropped another music video.
He did?
Yeah, he did. But it didn't do as well as the other ones. Like you've been seeing that the numbers have been dropping because people start to care less about him.
Yeah. That nigga losing money more than R. Kelly.
Oh yeah, and it is what it is, bro. Like, hey, you know what you got yourself into. Man shouldn't have spent all that money on that dumb shit, but it is what it is. All right, so this was a clip I found through another YouTuber, through a black YouTuber who had who listened to his whole rant, and he kind of went in depth about it, right? And I thought it would be interesting for us to talk about, especially with us both being black, us being part of the black community. This is so Myron, I believe, is either from not Saudi Arabia. It may be from Saudi Arabia or another Middle Eastern country. But I don't know how black he is, but he seems fairly black. He is at least somewhat black. I know he's at least like half black. At least. He may be full black, I'm not sure. I think he's from Sudan, maybe Sudan or Saudi Arabia or somewhere like that. And essentially a viewer said something about race, and he just kind of lost his shit, right? So whenever you're ready, we can jump into this.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Okay, he just went straight 100. He just went 100.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna need some reparations for my ears, bro. Jesus.
All right. Now turn it down a little bit, so let's go into it.
Wait. That's all you motherfuckers do is cry, bro. That's all they do on fucking Twitter. Well, I'm really black because my parents were here in 1945 and they know Martin Luther King. Shut the fuck up. That's why foreigners come to this country and laugh at you niggas, bro. Real talk. Chinese people come to this fucking country. You know what they do? They open up a fucking Chinese food spot in the hood. The Indian people, they go open up a convenience store in the hood. The Arabs, they come into the United States, they go put a fucking liquor store in the hood, and them niggas can't even drink. They laughing at you, stupid fucks. Because you guys come into the store, oh, hey son, let me get a pack of Hennessy. Yo, I only got 20 on me right now, bro. I know it's 50, but yo, do a hookah brother up. No. Come back again with the money. They laugh at you niggas because you guys were born here with the opportunity, and they're making a killing off you stupid fucks because you guys speak English, born here, raised here, U.S. citizenship, and you're still a fucking loser. Going into a foreign nigga store, buying the fucking alcohol, crying and complaining about why you're not where you want to be, but you're drunk all the time off of fucking Hennessy.
Now, off of, did you want to comment on that? Because you paused it. You want to comment off of that?
No.
Or did you want to run through it?
Yeah, I'm going to run through it.
Okay.
That's the truth in the black community. That's the fucking truth. You choose to be a fucking loser. Okay? And I don't want to hear nothing. Because if I get pulled over by the police versus you get pulled over by the police, the only difference is that I'm not going to be a fucking retard. I know how to move.
Whoa. What?